Hi, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of the Shady Box podcast. As always, my name is Eileen.
I'm Tiara.
I'm Candace.
And I'm Victoria.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hi, girlfriend. Hi.
I know that we've already had a stressful, decade, and it just started.
That's a fact.
She's like, the next 10 years are gonna suck. Jesus, Eileen.
Oh no, seriously. I don't understand how everyone can do it nowadays. You know, just for us to coordinate our schedule to record, it's just all of the Vicky, how are you doing this? Candace, how are you doing this? Tiara, girl, how are you doing this? Because you've had quite an eventful couple of months, I feel. You moved, you got a new job. You just started going, and you didn't stop.
Yeah, she's stunting. She started stunting out of nowhere. I love it, though. I love it that she kept it low key, too.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I really needed to do stuff. I really needed to feel like I was moving forward in life. And now I'm struggling to be proud of myself in me moving forward in life.
No.
You feel like you stand still, or
it's just I envisioned my life being way different than this. But granted, I had no idea that we would be in a financial depression or a pandemic or, any of the other horrific things that have been happening that makes life really difficult. Last year was it was not the greatest, but then this year seemed to be 2020 2.0. And I'm just why is this happening? I will say that I have, made strides to be better, but it just seems like no matter what you do, it's not enough. And I do try to make time, but it's really hard because I'm trying to grind it out. I'm trying to do so much more before I'm 30 years old, which is not as far as I thought.
Sarah, I feel you on that. But you also have to, that's a mindset. That whole not being enough, that is your mindset. Because where you were last year is nowhere near where you are right now. You've done so much. I know that it says people say you shouldn't compare where you are with your friends, and I believe that, but I think that you should compare where you were a year ago, where you were 5 years ago. This vision that we all have in our lives, at least I think all of us, we live in New York, a city where people say anything can happen, but it's so hard to make anything happen here because it's so expensive.
The thing is too, New York is known as the city where millionaires come to become billionaires. And I believe that because to survive here, you either have to be born here or you have to be here with either financial backing or a plan.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're just going to be struggling. Check to check is not cute at all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how people do it, but okay, so we kind of have different lifestyles. I know that Vicky and I are mothers. I'm a single mom, and Vicky has her husband and has her daughter which is way younger than mine. So we both have completely different situations happening. And because I'm a single mom and I have to kind of share my baby as much as it hurts. how do I say this? I try to do as much as I possibly can when she is at her father's, because that is the only time I don't have to worry about childcare. I don't have to worry about being home at a specific time to make sure that she's, eats and everything. Don't get me wrong. I check up on her like 24 times a day. Hi, how you doing? Have you eaten? What are you bored? This literally, I'm basket case. But but at the same time, I have this window where I can literally get anything done. And if I want to go see friends or do this or do that, that's when I can do it.
Mhm.
That is my window when she is with her dad. That is how I'm doing it, because I work full time. I'm now trying, I have a trainer now. So, Hot Girl Summer is coming right around. And yeah, no, like it's a lot. And I've been doing a lot of overtime because again, I work at the hospital. So, I'm helping out with the COVID clinics. It's a lot of stress and dealing with everything else. Not only that, but my parents are very dependent on me, and I'm also like in the process of moving out as well. So there's a lot happening. And this is why I say, look, Tiara, like you moved out, girl. I am so envious of you. You have your own four walls. That to me is like just that right there. That is
Well,
my goal.
4 walls it is. But I did. It's definitely 4 walls. I did. I did actually do it, and I mean, thank you. I do like. I don't know. I think that the problem with the mindset, I feel like for our generation, is that celebrity culture has kind of made it like seem as though you start off with nothing and then you can quickly easily you can have something and you can have more of something and more of something, and it's not like that. It's just not like that. I don't know what these celebrities was out here doing, if they were selling their soul. I don't know what's going on, but like for me to have like I have love for certain singers who lived in New York or who came to New York, and then after a couple of years they pop and now they like are millionaires. Well, how'd you do it? Because I'm over here trying to get to the money. Where the money resides. I need to be wherever the money resides. Okay. And when I do, it needs to come with some form of something, because these landlords do not care if you are a YouTuber or anything like that. You need to have paperwork. They make it so hard, like for any of us. I literally was looking at apartments at work yesterday, and it was literally like these studio apartments. The pictures looked decent, but now they're showing you video because of the pandemic, so a lot of people couldn't actually go see the apartments. If you could see with this apartment, like one of the apartments had a tub, right? The tub wasn't even a normal size tub. It looked like a tub for midgets. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it looked like a tub for little people. Like, it was half of my body.
Yeah, I'm glad you said little people, because I was about to be like, oh no.
We have to be politically correct.
How is the rest of my body gonna fit in there?
Burbath.
How's the rest of my body? How's it gonna do that? Then they had the kitchen. It had no counter space. Like, a lot of apartments don't have counter space anymore.
Yeah, these apartment kitchens.
Tia, can I just say, what I'm gonna do and what I'm gonna do for everybody is, I feel like a lot of people think that I don't have any counter space, right? Like, I really BS about the fact that I don't have counter space, because y'all know I complain about my kitchen all the goddamn time. I'm gonna make a video showing you the grand tour of my kitchen, and you will see that I have zero counter space.
It
So
was
I'm going to
literally
make a video, and everybody is going to see what a nice, and you know what's crazy is that my place is nice. It's nice compared to other places and Flushing. So y'all are gonna see what real living is.
It was literally a refrigerator and a sink and like, what was it? A stove.
Vicky, I don't want to hear it. You got two vegetables. Like,
wait a minute. Wait, Tiara, was that a video of my place? Because that's what I have in my kitchen. Are you sure?
It had no furniture. I'm pretty sure that it wasn't your place. But it was a studio. It was studio apartments, and the apartments was renting. Now, some of them did have like 2-3 months free rent, right? You don't have to pay. But then when you do pay, you paying $1,700 or more.
For a studio apartment where?
For a studio apartment. And it's a box. It literally looked like it was a room and they made it into an apartment.
Well, that's my house. So my apartment, that's exactly what that is.
No, Candace, you have a hallway. This didn't have not it had no.
You do have a hallway, Candace.
You have a hallway. Not only do you have a hallway, but Candace, I remember when you had a couch in your apartment.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that you can do like it literally, I think that ended up being what piqued my anxiety really bad, where I just was like, I was talking to my coworker and he was not making me feel the greatest about just like my life and my circumstances. And in that moment, I was like, damn, do I talk a lot? Because like, how do you be knowing all this stuff about me? And then you're just using it against me and making me feel like even more like shit. And then like I'm on the train and I'm like, I don't want to cry on the train. Like I really was like the thing about having anxiety is that it can hit you at any time, any place, anywhere. And it's like,
it's real rude too. It don't knock on the door. It just show up uninvited.
Like,
yo, they just be busting through that door like crazy.
When did anxiety become like this cool thing? Like everybody's just like, yeah, I have anxiety. I'm like, why we celebrating?
That's not fun. It's not
like taking prescription drugs.
Everywhere. I'm seeing this. It's like, yeah, I know. Like I have panic attacks, bruh. I'm like,
do you? Do you know?
Just like, why are we talking about your panic attacks? Like it's so nonchalant about it. Like it's not a problem. I'm like, are you seeking help? Like, what are we doing?
Right?
What Xanax are you on?
I'm like, my anxiety is not a cause to celebrate. In fact, like it's uninvited to all the parties. So when it shows up, I'm like, oh, you got an invitation? Okay.
It's true. It's really true. Like my stomach was turning. It felt like I had knots in it. I was like, like I was like, maybe I should take a day off just to like sleep. Like, so today I took off from work, which ended up being great because I had no working toilet in my apartment and I had to stay at my mom's house. And I was like, oh, this is great. For the second night, I had to stay at my mom's house. I just paid my rent yesterday.
I have a toilet.
With no toilet.
I'm like, you're not getting no rent until I could take a whole poop. Thank you.
That's a fact.
I couldn't even take a pee. And then my roommate was like, well, if you have to do number one, you can always like do that in the shower. And I was like,
I have several bodily functions and I have to do at least 2 of them.
And it was just, I was like, so
wait a second. Hold on.
You gotta like do number one at like 3 or 4 o'clock.
How long have you not had a working toilet? Why is it over 24 hours?
That's true.
I asked I really think that ended up being the prime peak of my anxiety. I was like, my business, like I have to go to my mother's house. I don't pay rent there.
Hold on, I need to ask the class. Why is it over 24 hours that you do not have a working toilet?
Correct.
I don't know, man.
Like I'm sorry, but that is completely unacceptable. And I feel like this happens a lot. And I've heard of like other instances. And I'm just like, I live in a building where if anyone complains about this, my father is super. So my father like has to come up with some type of solution within 24 hours. The at the latest,
Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to be rude and applying like.
we have weekend plumbing. We have weekend plumbing services. So I need to know. Okay, like why is this a thing? I've really
What
been
happened
spoiled.
was, it wasn't a plumbing situation. Um, my roommate's apartment. She never had any renovations or anything done because they wanted to raise her rent. And because she does not want to pay higher rent, everyone is like, oh, you can wait. So then what ended up happening is that they were supposed to give her a new toilet and new renovations in her bathroom in February. They never did. So then it got delayed. And when they brought the new toilet to do yesterday at 8 o'clock at night, it was broken. It was it was bro- it was broken already. First of all, why are you coming at 8 p.m. to finish putting the toilet together when, like, that's almost booty call hours? So I don't understand why.
That's like pre-booty call hours. Booty call hours usually start at like 10, 11.
Exactly. Almost booty call hours. You either sleep or you get in a booty call.
They got arrested. Why? Where's the booty call hours? Like, where's the sign-up sheet? What is this booty call hours?
They're in front of Webster Hall. That's the sign-up sheet. You go down to Webster Hall, you put your name on a clipboard.
I have never in my entire life. I swear to God, I need to hang out with Tiara more, like just one-on-one.
I'm just saying,
show me.
It's a scientific fact that most of the time booty call hours are between 11 o'clock to like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Correct.
You know,
that's a wider range.
No, that sounds about right.
It's a wide range. It is.
Yeah,
there's a lot of space.
I was just like, that's a short call, but
there's a lot of space for people to be under the influence and knocked up. So I'm just saying, like, that was almost booty call hours, almost, right? It was almost my bedtime. Like, I was ready to be asleep. I literally had to figure it out, like, in 5 seconds. I was like,
wow, either my kidneys are about to fail or I'm going to my mother's house.
Well, literally all just really like living different situations here at all. See, Tiara has a roommate. I swear to God, if I did not have a child, I'd be out there having roommates, having all types of apparently I don't know where booty call hours are.
There are people,
what booty call hours are.
There are people who have roommates, but they have their kids with, like, and I've never really understood how you have your whole kid in an apartment. And then, like, when I was trying to find a place to move and find roommates, you will be surprised how many people were like, oh, I have available room in my apartment, but I have a dog, a cat, and 2 kids.
You have the Brady Bunch there, ma'am.
Yeah, I would be like, your pets better get a job.
I was like, so where does the people sleep? Like, the thing about it is, like, I don't have kids, so living with a kid, your kid sneezes on me, I'm punching in the face, because I just feel like your kid's trying to give me whatever they have. And I think
kids wake up every day and choose violence. Every single day they wake up and choose violence. Kid will tell you about yourself real fast, and you're like, oh, this is somebody's
That's a fact. Especially my baby.
Will tell you about yourself. I had one of my hairstylist kid come. She came to do my hair and brought her kid. Her kid came in my room when I was living with my mom. Was like, "It's really small here." I was like, "You think I don't know what's small in here? You're old."
I don't talk to children. I don't talk to children. They're wild. I just look at them.
And this be like,
that's the only way I'm gonna hold my composure. I'm just gonna stare at you. We're gonna figure it out. Or you gonna figure it out. I'm not doing nothing.
oh my god. But yeah, that's kind of just been my life in a nutshell. Like it's been a lot of writing plans down, but not really accomplishing much. Because my depression and my anxiety is trying to be like, I know it's gonna be a hot girl summer, but I'm here like real quick. Like, let me just get this out.
But I think, like I said, from where you were last year to where you are now, I feel like you've accomplished a lot of things. Like moving out in itself is really hard because every day I have coworkers that are just telling me like, listen, you have it good with your parents. Just stay there until you find like your significant other and you become like a 2-income household. And I'm just there like, but I want to struggle by myself.
No, but seriously. And that's really like the problem. I want to struggle by myself. And I don't really want to struggle, but like, why does, like, I now understand why everybody will be. I literally had someone tell me that he was with his girlfriend for 6 months and they already lived together. And I was like,
They don't care about it. They just care about an apartment. They're like,
that's like, they just wanted to live. They just wanted to move out, so they moved out with each other.
I was like, y'all in love. Oh, this is gonna work. This is great.
Like as soon as I was able to move out, I moved out. I was like, I do. I think it was like 19 or 20, and I was just like, well, I'm gonna go. And I was chilling, living my best life, and and then somebody's son came along. It was just like.
Somebody's like, oh, not your place.
It was just like, and their parents was just like, you should move out with your girlfriend. And I was like, oh, did you ask his girlfriend? And she wanted an accompaniment in her home.
She was just like, you licked it, you bought it.
We ended up getting a place together, and that's what a wonderful story.
It really is, though. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. I can't see. I don't know. Honestly, Victoria, Eileen, I don't know how you guys do it because I can't see bringing a kid into an already complicated situation and it being more complicated.
It's very simple. Okay, I'll tell you what the key was. Have really supportive parents and get pregnant when we're like 16, 17 years old. And just really like, so now she's like a grown man. She's her own person.
She is. She's at least 21 years old.
She is.
At least she's ready. She's ready for the workforce. Like, it's great. She's a little bit more flexible, and because she's older, I feel like, at least for me, I know it's a little more difficult for Victoria because Rebecca's smaller, but because mine is 11, I can actually have like conversations with her. And, like we work out our schedules because yes, my child is 11 with a schedule. And we kind of, like she understands certain situations or if things aren't possible, I just explain like, hey, financially we can't do it this month, but next month for sure. Or, like we figure things out together. And I think that is one thing that is kind of easier now that she's older. And like I said, I have possibly the most amazing parents in the world who have always been there for me and, let me pretty much, my parents are the reason why I have any type of social life. Any type of social life. Because my mom was very big on, listen, this is my grandbaby. I'm going to take her out. You do what you got to do. And she would go parade around town. Like, this is my grandbaby. This is my like the most proudest woman in the entire world. They would go get their nails done together, everything. So, like, I had that help. And I know that a lot of people don't. And I still have that help, So it's very different. My situation than a lot of other like single mothers is very fortunate to have the parents that I have. And I feel like without them, I would definitely be on some corner, just trying to figure it out.
Not on a corner. Not there.
What's on the corner, Tiara?
No, you don't know it.
Corner hiding money and substance for somebody. Okay.
Listen, what would you do if your son was at home crying all alone on the bedroom floor because he's hungry?
Oh my
And the only way to feed him
With a man with a little bit of money, because oh my god.
you know.
I mean, that just made me cry just now, bro. Oh
I love you.
God.
So I didn't know what that song meant for a really long time. I genuinely didn't know what the words were. And then when I figured the words out, I was like, oh, that's what that meant.
He's out here.
I had a lot of adult, I had no idea moments over like the last 5 years. I just 5 and I was like, I have time to listen today. Oh, that had a different meaning when I was 9.
Right?
5 years old. I thought that was something else. Okay.
Bro, even learning that the electric slide is actually about a vibrator. I was like,
Wait, it is?
yes.
Wait, what?
What? The electric
is
slide?
about a woman who uses a vibrator. She broke up with her man or whatever happens, and the relationship ended, and she found herself
Doing a little boogie woogie woogie? Like,
I can relate.
Holy crap, is that why I resonate with that song so much? All right.
Jesus.
I think it's just because it's a poppin' song.
But we made a dance to it. Black people made a dance to it.
I don't know what it's about. It's still going to be at every barbecue I go to.
That's a fact. It's played at every wedding.
Sure.
Like
every family reunion.
Well, now it's between that or the cha-cha slide or both.
No, our generation has the cha-cha slide.
Right.
We be banging out the cha-cha slide like nothing. We like to the left.
Yo, and I'm an extra person too, so I'm like,
right? Me too.
I mean, losing my mind.
Your skills. Meanwhile, the guy's telling you all the steps. It's like you're not a genius.
Listen, I'm West Indian. Every song I know what to do. In the West Indies, if the song is not giving you full directions, it's not a West Indian song. Sing that I play parachute. Like it's just every song.
And I still be sitting there like, what is going on? What are you guys
That is true artistry, okay? Not many people can just, sing the instructions and it be popping, okay?
Listen,
that's true.
It's a skill. It's a skill for sure.
So going back to our conversation, because I definitely always bring us to a tangent. My situation is very different than Vicky's situation because Vicky, well, let me not even explain her story. This is hers.
No, please narrate my life, Eileen. I love your voice. No, my situation, it's rough. My situation is rough. Like, I don't know how I get up in the morning. I really don't. I wake up.
God.
I hear my alarm go off, and then the next thing I know, I'm sitting in the bathroom, and I'm like, oh crap, I have to start getting ready for work. That's what I did this morning. I don't know how I get up and do it every single day, but I do. And with having a 4-year-old, it definitely does not make it easy because 4-year-olds run on jet fuel 24/7. They don't.
Jet fuel is not healthy. God.
I tried to give her broccoli. It just made her more hyper.
Made her fart and gave her rocket boost.
Yep.
Don't give her asparagus. Don't give her asparagus.
Brussels sprouts.
You know what? That's funny. I actually just bought a bundle of asparagus. And it's in my freezer. So I'm just I think I might make it tomorrow. Some roasted vegetables with a whole turkey that I got from Trader Joe's. Shout out to Trader Joe's. I love Trader Joe's.
She was gonna say shout out to the turkey.
shout out to the turkey too. Yes. Turkey. That crispy skin is on its way for real. What was I saying? Yes.
Having a 4-year-old on jet fuel.
And that is my life. Exactly just like that. she's she's always going. She's always going, which means that I always have to go. And it's like I wake up at 6:30 every morning. Even on my days off, I wake up at 6:30 every morning because my days off are not days off. Um I'm always having something to do. There's always something to do. And if I don't get an early enough start, the entire day is gone. The entire day is gone. And nobody gives you a handbook on that. You know how like everybody, you know how like in school, right? When you had to take those stupid tests and they're like, oh, manage your time wisely. Don't spend more than 1.5 minutes on each question and blah, 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 and all that BS, right? Nobody tells you that after you have a kid. There's no time management.
You gotta put it in a half longer than looking at your baby.
With a child, there's no book on that. There's no manual on that. And what's crazy is that nobody tells you that you either learn how to manage your time or you just go with it. Nobody tells you about that. Everybody tells you about, oh, you're never going to sleep again. And, you know, you're going to want time for yourself. You're never going to have time for yourself again and all of this stuff. But they don't tell you what the reason is behind that.
Yeah.
And the reason behind that, a big part of it, I think, is time management. I remember, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, I had asked my coworker, I go to her, I'm like, Fiona, you ever feel like there's never enough time in the day? Like 24 hours is not enough. Like you need like a 25, 26 hour day. She goes, yeah, I know how you feel. And she doesn't even have a kid. She doesn't have a kid. And she feels like that.
26 hours a day.
A 26 hour day. I have 2 days off. I'm lucky enough to have the 2 days off back to back. It's not enough time. It's not enough time. There's stuff that I needed to get done like months ago that I still haven't been able to get done. And it's kind of crazy. And what's funny is that one of the whole basis of my job is to sell a membership to people who don't make enough time for themselves. That is one of the basis of my job.
That sounds 100% correct. It's usually the people in that industry who don't get to experience that stuff.
Yeah. Luckily, I have been able to because, you know, people are canceling and my boss is just like, hey, you want some services? She didn't even say, hey, you want them. She goes, you have services in your account and they expire by this day, so use them.
If
and I'm like, all right.
If I want some services, I would leave the company.
Like, no, here's the funny part though. I'll be like, okay, let me use my service. Can I book it on this day? No, wait till I see if it books online. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Okay.
No, shout out to my boss. She didn't have to give us services. She literally is giving us like hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Worth of services.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because she's a great person on the inside. She's still my boss, but she's a great person on the inside. And we'll just leave it as that.
I mean, I definitely understood what that meant just now. I did.
Well, if she ever watches this.
I hope not.
She's gonna be like, why are you telling people I'm giving away services?
It's like everything is logged in the system anyway. So people, I mean, they could just check.
Candace is gonna show up, but like, I know people are canceling. You can offer me some services.
Okay, so it's for the employees. Like, ma'am, you could take advantage of the introductory rate. It's $73.15.
I'm just gonna show your part of the podcast. Be like,
is this the place with the services?
Is this the place with the services?
No background, nothing else. I want the services.
With services,
like, okay, you have to pay for them.
No, I want the treatment that your employers are getting. Please and thank you.
Mm-hmm. I want the employee services.
Right.
You know, it should be like, yeah, they pay for their services too.
In what? In hours?
Where?
I need to know exactly where, miss. I need to know how to get there. in the fastest way.
You just show up, start looking through books. This looks like your analytics. Is this your record keeping?
Oh God, no! Oh God, oh
Candace
God.
is gonna hack into your system, and it's gonna be like, Candace,
I really would. I just be
Oh my
like,
God, Candace,
I have a
can you
ticket.
please? Can you please?
now that we're recording it on live, I cannot.
Please?
It's taped. I can't, guys.
It's okay. Just edit this part out. It's fine.
Oh, more work. Thank you. Oh.
And for legal purposes, we're gonna say we're not gonna do any of those things.
Not at all.
Maybe almost.
Never.
See, I don't think I could do it because like you literally, Victoria, like you go back and forth and you drive here, you drive there, and I'm just there like I'm exhausted listening to your day sometimes. Like I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
tired.
I definitely get it. Like there are days where like when I finally get to like sit down and I'm just like, how the hell did I get everything done today? And then I'm just like, wait a minute, I got nothing that I needed to get done today.
I was about to say, like, don't it feel
That's-
good when you actually get things done that you like needed to get done, but then you were like, nah, I don't really get anything done.
That's
like,
my everyday.
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface on what I needed to get done. And then the next thing I know, I'm like, oh crap, it's Friday.
I would
I
die.
gotta go back to work.
If
you
I didn't
know?
get things done every day, like I would pass out somewhere. I just
Yeah.
I have mad laundry to wash.
6:30 in the morning. 6:30.
I feel like that's a lot of people though. I feel like a lot of people were just maybe no, yeah, I procrastinate. But I don't want to call it procrastinating. I think it's just we didn't find the time that day, and then yesterday's items we got done today, so I'm going to do today's items tomorrow, and then
it's like that sometimes.
over and over and over again. And Vicky has to coordinate with a whole other human. I can't imagine having to like coordinate with another man. Like I've been, yeah.
Jesus, Eileen, that was aggressive. Man.
No, it's true. It's really true. Because if Joshua can't do it, and then it's just kind of like if nobody else could do it, then
it falls on you.
We're kind of asked out.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just really, really hard to coordinate. And with our work schedules, like on the surface, yeah, it looks great. Like I go to work, Josh is home, and then, I come home and basically we switch. But that literally leaves no time on any day of the week for us to get anything done for ourselves.
I get you.
Yeah.
So it's just it's hard and it's frustrating. It's actually gotten to the point where we thought about hiring a babysitter.
Most people do. Well, I'm like a lot of people
just to be able to just do stuff.
Yeah.
Just to be able to do like normal day-to-day stuff. Have to hire a babysitter.
Are we talking about like festivities or going on dates or just like to wash laundry?
To wash your butt. That's what it is. Watch my child make fun of himself.
The baby can come in while I'm on the toilet, Just find that time. Listen, it happens and it still happens. I don't care what anyone says. My 11-year-old will walk in here like, Mommy, so do you know what is going on with all this TikTok drama? And I'm like, I give her the look, I give her that look like, is this really that important that you had to interrupt me while I'm sitting on the toilet? Like,
you just gotta let it drop real quick and she gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna see you later.
No,
my goddaughter is like that since she was a baby, right? So my goddaughter has always been like, your bathroom time is our bathroom time. I'm like, your parents that you can do this to. You're my parent. You're my godmom. I'm like, oh. She would cry outside the door. Like this is before she was like speaking in like clear sentences. If I went to the bathroom and I closed the door, she would walk up to the door and cry. I'm like, are you serious? All right.
But yeah, no, she'll look me in my eyeballs. Okay, Tiara, look me right in the eye, and like she's serious. Like this is a thing. Like whatever it is. So you kind of have to like. It's like mental warfare that we have together because we're just there like so is this really important that you have to interrupt me? And she's like, no, it's fine, it can wait. But then I feel bad.
Guilty.
It's like, oh, you're so good.
You're so good. She sounds like she's so good, honestly. Because I would have, I don't know. I still would have been like, all right, I'll see you in 5 minutes.
I don't think I've ever had like private bathroom time.
Yeah, Victoria, don't let Rebecca watch this.
As a child growing up with my mom would barge into the bathroom whenever I was in there.
My mom did. She did it yesterday. She literally she didn't even knock on my door. I was like, it's still my room.
Just walk in.
She just walked in. I was like,
at this point now, if I'm in the bathroom too long and no one comes in, I get nervous. I'm like, no one's here to love me.
No, but that's literally a thing. Like I've never had privacy ever in my entire life. Privacy? Yeah. What? I didn't pay no bills. What? You had to pay bills for privacy.
I paid bills and still received no privacy. Just like for what? You sharing the world with other people. This is just another door, baby. Just,
that's really fast though.
So I'm always free all the time. No, I wish I was.
No, I was about to say like,
Candace,
like, come on. We know you have 21 jobs, but how do you manage all 21 of your jobs? I still want to know
the calendar. Timed to the T. Oh no, I start my days at 6. And I don't sleep. That's literally it. You guys can call me at 3 a.m. I'm still up.
I've done it.
And it's a health issue because I get about 2-3 hours of sleep a night on average if I go to sleep, and that's only going to cause cognitive issues later on. I just don't sleep. I've had insomnia since I was a kid, and I'm the type of person that feels like I want to do so much, and so I'm going to do it. and it stems from being a child. Like I've always been depended on, so I always want to make sure that I'm available. So that's the first thing. So I think that's one of the reasons why I don't sleep very well. I mean, I'm sure there's other reasons too, but I think that's one of the contributors. And also I'm the type of person that like when I'm working or when I'm putting my name on something or putting my energy into something, like I want it to have a level of perfection. Don't judge the quality of our podcast. But I'm like, I wanted to have a specific level of perfection. So I will learn everything I can about it until I am close enough to a master where I can teach other people, or I can continue to grow on that, or I'm a worker bee, and I've always been a worker bee. And I don't want to leave this world without saying that I've tried almost everything. And I feel like if I'm not doing something, that's time wasted, and I just want to do it. Also, it doesn't help that like I do a lot of like hard stuff, and things that I didn't think were hard until people were like, that's difficult, right? I'm like, oh, all right.
And it's like challenge accepted,
right? I'm like, it's not hard. I could teach you. You want to learn
it? You really be talking to me sometimes, and I just be looking like. Yeah. Like you try and teach me, and I'm just like, I can't. Like my brain I can't do it. Sometimes I don't even remember how to spell my own name, and you want to teach me something that I don't even like. I can't speak that language.
I feel like anybody can learn it. I think anybody can learn anything if they actually care about it. I think that's the trick. To learn something, you have to actually have interest in it, right? Mm-hmm. And not why waste your energy.
Right. But you have interest in just. Okay, so then you have interest in everything because
I don't do everything.
Like a walking encyclopedia of doing stuff, like how to do, like the book How to Do This for Dummies. Like you are how to do this for geniuses, and I'm not. So
No, I explain things at a very high level. And when I say high level, that's very much computer engineer talk for the simplest way. Like when I teach people, I don't teach them the way that I learn because I'm like, I don't know why people are throwing stuff at me like I'm a freaking sponge and if I can absorb it overnight, it's not gonna work. I explain it very simply. I'm like, we're gonna do some ABCs and 1, 2, 3 today. Like, but you wanna
And I'm so grateful for that. So grateful.
Yeah, no, like I do feel overwhelmed often. And like I'm not good for self-care. Like I try, and don't get me wrong, like I'm not gonna let somebody like walk all over me. Like that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that like I do forget to sleep, right? I do forget that, hey, Candace, you're burning out. And like it's only after I burn out that I'm like, oh man, I need to do something because I'm burnt out. Like that's where I am now. Like before the podcast started, me and Tiara were talking about like just how like depression is really taking over because anytime I'm in a place, anytime you learn something new, like there's a pinnacle where you reach where like nothing hits anymore, right? Like you kind of have to like take a step back and like realize that you have to either go over the previous things because it didn't all stick, or take a second because now you're not retaining anything because you're fatiguing your mind, your body, your whatever it is, right? So I'm in a place right now where I feel like I'm not doing enough or I'm not good enough because I'm not getting the things that I'm trying to get, not learning things that I want to learn. And my body is reaching that stage of burnout. And unfortunately, I don't have the resources that I wish I had to take care of myself the way that I need it right now, right? I don't have the space that I wish that I had to kind of like de-stress. So I'm in that stage too. So guess what I do? I take more time, I schedule more things to kind of not think about being stressed. If I'm busy, I can't think about being stressed. I have to think about being busy, right? You know what I mean? So it's just this endless circle of unhealthy, healthy habits, if that makes any sense.
Well, so you're really good where you actually make a schedule and stick to it. Schedule your sleep.
Yeah, the issue isn't that I'm not scheduling sleep, it's just I'm not falling asleep. How long can you sit there and nothing happens? I have a very overactive brain, which is what causes you to not sleep to begin with, right?
Yeah.
So, so unless somebody is willing to be, I would pay somebody $12 a night to punch me in the face, help me fall asleep. Just a good concussion. You know what I mean? I'm kidding. I'm completely kidding. But I sometimes I can't sleep on my own.
Have you tried sleeping aids?
I've tried what is it? Melatonin. I've tried sleeping pills. So the melatonin, it trapped me in my nightmares, so I stopped taking it. Right. So when I started taking melatonin, when I would fall asleep, you know that natural. So when you're having a dream that's too scary, your body naturally wakes you up. I would get trapped in my dreams. So that part of the brain that naturally wakes you up was no longer activated because of the melatonin. I'm taking sleeping aids, and at the time, like my body, I was like my organs weren't the strongest, so it started affecting me negatively. So the doctor had to take me off of that. So I just don't deal. I just have a cup of tea, and then I do a less strenuous thing to learn or activity or whatever it may be.
What about reading?
It's not.
Like find a really boring book. And then
those.
And then
I'm gonna tell you right now. So I thought that that's what this was gonna be. I was like, maybe I'm just gonna read a boring book to sleep. I've been reading this book like I can't stop. So I don't know. By the way, that's called Confederacy of Dunces, and it's so good. It's so well written. And the person who, not to be like morbid, the person who wrote it only wrote one book, and he died, and his mom gave this book to a publishing agency, and the guy was like, I don't want to read this woman's dead son's book, right? So that's the thing. He could not put the book down. He published it like immediately, and it was a bestseller. I wish this guy was allowed to write more publications because it's so good. It's so good.
I'm scared to ask what it's about.
It's nothing crazy. It's a weird comedy type of thing. So it's about this guy living in New Orleans with his mother, right? And he's looking for a job, and he keeps meeting these like crazy characters in the process of like going through these job interviews. and it's just the encounters that he has are so wild, like wild. I'm like, yo, like where do people like this exist? Probably in New Orleans, right?
No, they definitely exist in New York. Like, sure.
No,
for sure, come here.
Yeah, but it's a really good read. I want to finish it, but I also want to savor it because it's just I know I can't get another publishing from him.
Candace is out here savoring books. I would love to savor a book. I haven't savored a book since high school.
I haven't savored a book in a long time.
It's good. You know what else is good? Do I have it over here also? Steve. I can't find it, but
I can't even see words at like 12. Like I don't
have time to savor books because literally like the only reading I can even manage to do at this point is like the 8 readings that my school requires.
Babe, I read those books. Like I read like a page a day.
What?
Oh my god. So this, if you guys are looking for, I don't know if you guys like scary books, but this is Stephen King's latest book. And guys,
he's still making books.
He don't stop. Stephen King don't stop.
He doesn't. He literally does not.
He should not, and he shouldn't. They can hire me to be somebody in this book. It's fine. I will be in that movie.
She would be the killer.
I might. But in this story, I couldn't be. But I mean, maybe
she would be like, "This is so fun. My brain. Ah."
Very possible.
You know what you should do? What? You should call an insurance company very late at night and try to get through to a representative, and then you'll definitely fall asleep.
No, I can't. I hate it. I can't talk to people on the phone. I can't do it. I can't talk to people on the phone. I hate it. I hate it. I don't.
That was really smart, Eileen. You know what?
Anytime someone calls me looking for like trying to sell me something, I'm like, last night was so good, baby. You want to come over again tonight? And then they hang up.
Nah, you should.
I guess it wasn't as good for them as it was for me.
You know how when you get the call, it says your warranty on your car. You should just go through with the whole call. Like just press the number when they tell you to press it.
See, the way my brain is set up is that I want a live representative so I can do weird things like that to them. So I will stay on long enough to be like to try to sell them. Eileen just love this.
What the hell just happened to Eileen?
Disrespect. She didn't like my story.
Oh no! What just happened?
And to that, I'm just gonna reapply my lip gloss because I'm happy out here.
Eileen, oh my god, my story was not
bad. You didn't treat me like that. It was not that bad.
I don't know what just happened.
You hung up on me. That's how I felt.
Neither do we.
I felt.
First of all, don't turn your head and like that whole highlight right there. Look at that. I did not put on any.
I have not an ounce.
Scream.
I have not nothing.
Well, last time we were just like, we're gonna put some effort in. I'm like, okay, all right. I have a hat on because these braids about to come out. I might just re-braid it though because I don't have the time.
That's facts.
I don't have the time.
It's really facts. I thought by like cutting my hair that I would just be like not having to do anything with it. I'm
living for your afro. Like you have no idea.
So after this episode, okay, we're all going to search different ways that Candace can fall asleep. And we're going to have at least just 5 minutes. 5 minutes every podcast. And we're just going to be like, all right, so it's Did Candace Sleep segment. So Candace, did it work?
I will try whatever you guys like want to do. You know what's going to make me fall asleep? When we go and do ayahuasca, because watching my demons be like, oh, you chasing me away? What are you going to do is sleep now?
Oh my God. I think that we should do that. I
want to that
very soon. I am all down for a spiritual awakening. And
I was like, what is
that?
But we have to record it though. We have to set up like cameras wherever we're doing this. So like that we could watch it back.
For our spiritual my demons don't want to be caught on camera.
Yes. We'll tell that to Ghost Avengers. Just saying.
Watch me get everything that you guys get rid of. Watch me collect it all. All their problems were now.
I don't know what come out like. I don't.
So ayahuasca is this spiritual trip, right? Usually you drink an herb from like these plants.
Hell no. Hell no.
We have to go. So just the three of us then.
Spirits and this sounds like spirits and demons. I don't know. Like
it's you and your. So pretty much, it's like taking the strongest dose of weed that you ever have taken, and like if you've ever gotten sick from smoking, it's like that trip that happens amplified by like 50.
No. No. I will have a whole heart attack and die. Like
No.
Working.
I will have a heart attack and die. Who knows how to do CPR? It's not gonna work. So I don't know.
I mean, I don't want any of us to do CPR on you. We're all under ayahuasca. You want someone else, okay?
I will already be dead. Just kill me some more. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like,
listen. My motherly instinct will kick in, and I am certified. Okay, I can do hands only because COVID. So I'll do hands only until the ambulance comes. Okay,
I was gonna see all her demons.
I want to know who's calling the ambulance while me and Candace is tripping balls.
I'm just like, call 911.
I'm gonna be on a tree like they can't see us, baby. If we don't move, they can't see us. The tree's gonna be like, well, I don't move. I'm gonna be like, me either.
I can't.
That would definitely be that would 100% be Candace. I feel like Vicky would find like the nearest body of water.
No, that would be Candace.
No, what would definitely end up happening is I would find some obscure beach and just sit there. And I'll just go there. And I will move.
All I do is stay in water. I think if I found water that I would float away, and then by the time the ayahuasca wore off, I'd be like, I mean, I know I like water, but this is not what I have. This is not what I thought. I was starting
I'm wondering what island we're gonna be on because all y'all motherfuckers know about water. So
Costa Rica has a lot of them, and in Peru has a lot of them too.
No, we can't do it in Peru.
I'm finding all of these ways I could possibly die on a drug. So
the last thing that we need is to be doing this spiritual trip, and then one of us tries to climb Machu Picchu, and then that's it. None of us are seen ever again.
I'll make it to the top, and I won't make it back down.
Candace, they'll find your hat in the Nazca lines, and it's just like, how did they get here?
They can find her hat and her braids at the same time.
One braid. They'll find one braid in the hat.
I don't care how intoxicated or under what influence. We sticking together.
Candace will be the only one. I feel like it'll go one of two ways with Candace. Either one, she's going to be very worried about all of us, or like that's what's going to happen. Like we're going to find Candace literally like just with nature, with something like just absorbing the energies, even if she doesn't want them. They're coming after her.
I'm gonna be just real pissed off in a corner somewhere. Like I shouldn't have come here with all these people.
And if she somehow manages to get to Machu Picchu, she's going to be the only one to be able to explain how the Incas actually got all those
that's for sure
up there. She's going to know because the spirits told her. They showed her.
I'm going to be overwhelmed. They're going to be like, oh, you can't ignore us anymore. I'm like, oh, crap. I can't. I'm like, no, the doorway is open.
They're gonna be like, it's a party. I'm gonna be like,
yeah. The thing is, like,
and everything.
Ayahuasca has to be done under the supervision of shamans or like people who like can like watch you. It's too strong to do it on your own, and people hallucinate and all types of stuff. So.
I'm just gonna be there like throwing up. Like I'm gonna feel like it's like a kegger, and I feel like
everybody does though. Like throwing up is like a part of the process because of what you're putting inside your body, and it cleanses you out, like it purifies you. Tiara is just like, I don't want to do none of that, and you don't have
that sounds like an exorcism. That doesn't.
It does.
That sounds like an exorcism.
I really envision an exorcism.
I don't want to look like the Exorcist, just having green stuff come flying up.
Let me just say, I have a phobia of vomit. So if y'all throwing up, I'm leaving every last one of you. I don't know where I'm gonna go.
You're not gonna know what's happening because you're gonna be throwing up.
I will be looking at myself in the mirror. I hate you so
much. I'm just gonna come up for air and we'll be like, oh my god, everybody's vomiting. But like honestly, I do want to do it for there's a lot of things that I've suppressed from childhood that I would love to face, that I know that I've suppressed, and like I want kind of like that clean start with myself. Like, I don't know if you guys do I do a lot of shadow work. So like I try to deal with my demons very often. That way they're not moving with me to new chapters. But life continues to happen. So shadow work is a constant act that we have to do with ourselves. Hey, why do I make the choices that I make? Hey, am I holding on to past regressions? Am I holding on to like horrible feelings from like a previous relationship, whether it's friendship, romantic, or whatever it may be? Because now that's something that's going to be ongoing into the next step of my life. I don't want to see somebody and they have that power over me where seeing them makes me uncomfortable. I want to be like, hey, I have love for you, that I want you to do great on your own. Don't be at my table. You can have your own, right? But like, I do your thing over there. I'll do my thing over there, and I don't have any ill will. Will we be friends? Probably not, right? I'm not saying no, but I'm saying probably not. But it's not creating any issues in my life moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
I hold grudges that completely destroy their lives, and I've seen like the worst of it. I don't want to be one of those people, and I will never be one of those people. And like, we're constant work. We're here for an experience. I honestly think we're here for an experience, and I try to live my experience as with as much content and with as much certainty as possible. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, like I know that I'm doing things to the best of my ability, to the best of my mentality, with the least amount of selfishness as possible. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be selfish at some point. Some things you should be selfish in, right? But I try to make the least selfish decisions in my day-to-day, in my life in general. So like I try to live with those things. Because there's a lot of people who be like, oh no, I would never. I'm like, well, you're living with a very like closed off mentality, and you're saying these things because I personally think you're saying these things because of past regressions. Like, we change. People who say people never change, that's a lie. We change all the time. Our tastes change, our fashion change, our mentality changes, our life changes. We change. It just as a general, like our bodies change, like we change.
I choose to say that people don't change, but we mature into different people. That's what I choose to say.
What does that mean? What do those two things mean in opposition to you? Because I don't quite. Because is maturing not a version of changing? Like, what is the difference?
It is a version of changing, but there's a difference between like. I feel like there's a minor difference between two. Like, okay, if someone is evil, they're not going to change into an angel, like as they get older, but they will mature, and maybe there will be some aspects of niceness, but for the most part, they'll still be an asshole. They'll still be evil. They'll still be, like.
Yeah, well, I mean, a personality is still a personality, right? Like, people aren't going to become brand new, but yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, I guess that falls under the umbrella of what I was getting at when I was talking about changing. I agree with you. Yeah. But it's just like I said, it's just like this overall sense of like people just don't stay the same. Like, even if like they have like underlining similarities of who they are, some people live and die on the same hill. You know what I mean? So like I get that, but like I think people are constantly figuring out what they want to do next and who they want to be next. If they have that self-awareness, I should say, because there's some people who just don't have that self-awareness. But
I like to believe people change, but then again, I'm who I am.
Well, Eileen, the Libras, have they changed or have they matured?
But like Candace said, that is a form of change, even if it is just 1%, that 1% is different. So that in itself is change.
Right.
And I think that also sometimes people don't change, or at least like in our minds, because we are fixed with the experiences that we have with them. So in our eyes, that's who they are. And that's okay, because that's who they were with us, but it's not necessarily who they are with other people.
Right.
You know, I don't think everyone is the exact same person with everyone. I think around certain people, you know, you get different energies, and some people like to match energies, or some people like feel like there's something about you, can't put my finger on you.
Yes, because that's not social distancing.
I'm not giving you 100%, but I'll give you a little bit, bro. So
I could definitely.
So I feel like
sorry.
Yeah, so I just feel like we have this mentality of people don't change because we put those people in those boxes in our heads. But to someone else, that person can be a magnificent person because that's how they've always treated that person. We just weren't compatible energies.
Right. And people say all the time too, right? Like, oh, this person is a great friend but a horrible partner. This person is a great father but a horrible husband, or a great husband but a horrible father. You know what I mean? Like everybody has their things, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's some people in high school who, if you ask them about me, they would be like, I don't know what the Candace you're talking about. Candace was not that person in high school.
Candace didn't smile when she was in school with me. Now she be smiling.
this was me in high school.
That was her smile.
I said this in my other podcast where we were talking about like zodiac signs and horoscopes, right? I was talking about these two people I went to high school with, right? I'm not going to tell the story now. I'm just going to get to the end point. If you ask them about me, they would be like, Candace is a whole liar. Just a whole liar, right? I'll give a little backstory. It was this person I was dating, and this girl who I had considered like a very close friend at the time, right? They had known each other since like elementary school or whatever. He used to talk all this stuff about her, right? I'm like, all right, but like you guys went to like elementary school together, like you know her, like you know, give her a shot, whatever. They ended up cheating or whatever it is. Like I don't know like all the details because like I move on. I was just like, clearly this is not for me, right? But like at the time, like I was so intertwined with these two people that like to protect myself, it felt like they were lying to me, and in return, I lied to them, right? And like that the lies just started piling up. Like it was a defense mechanism almost. And like I really had to be like, why am I doing this and why is this happening? And that ended up being like the result. The result was like, oh, I'm not being treated well, and to not feel stupid, to not feel used, to not feel cheated on, to not feel all these things, I had to put up a blockade. And the only one I know how to do is if they say something, to lie about how I'm feeling, or to lie about this or to lie about that. Because it felt like when I expressed how I was feeling, it was returned. The result was returned with them kind of being like, oh, shut up, right? Or like, oh, like whatever. And like maybe we were too young. Maybe like at the time, like I was probably one of the only people being like, I have to look within for like my inner like feeling. That sounds like I was probably like the only kid in that range. It was just like I have to find myself. Like I don't know, right? Whatever it might have been. But if you were to, I don't know what they're doing with their lives now because I don't check for people that I've like cleared my life of, right?
We grew apart, so
right. So if you're watching, hi guys, but ask them about me, like I'm sure the version of me that they would describe is unrecognizable to the person that you guys know. You know what I mean? And if they say it, believe it, because that's probably the truth. They were like, Candace was a whole liar. I'm like, yup.
Lying right now.
I'm lying right now. But I like to live my life and like with authenticity, and like I live my life like that version of myself in that time in my life Like it was such an influential one because it was a version of me that I never wanted to see again. I never wanted to be, and I never wanted to be described as. So as I grew from that, I was just like, I will not live my life that way again. If I'm hurt, you will know that I'm hurt. And if you don't care about my feelings, I'm not going to lie to protect myself. I'm going to put myself in a safer environment, a safer situation, a happier environment, a happier situation. And I will wish you would do, because like clearly our paths weren't meant to meet right now or ever if I have a choice, right? But like it is what it is.
See, I love that. That's right. Growth.
Growth.
I even told my mom about it. She was just like, I don't know who that girl was. She was like, you had a rough couple of years then. And she was like, it was a rough 3 years, Candace. I was just like, it was. I said, because before that I was happy. Not that I was unhappy, but you know, like I was just like, that was constant on my mind like, all the time. And then I was doing things that was unlike me, and that I had to get out of that situation. It was not good.
Wow. 2 years. It's okay.
Oh
Is
no.
this the part where we like close the box, or like will we?
No, it's time to go. Ciara's like, it's time to go. Victoria's like, it's time to sleep.
I'm not falling asleep. I'm just winding down.
She's hanging on. She's hanging on.
If only I had some lavender around me, then I'll be sleeping.
Girl.
But
Would you like some melatonin?
Ooh.
I got a whole bottle of wine at work and I forgot to bring
Oh, okay.
yes, queen. I had cake at work and I made myself a whole plate of cake with a cupcake on the side and everything. Everything.
Wow.
I bring it to the desk a half hour before I'm supposed to clock out, right? I put it to the side so like it's not in the view of the clients, and my bum
That sounds like
forgot it at work.
Oh yeah,
I have done nothing but like think about this cake that I left at work. So I texted my boss and I'm like, yo, there's some cake behind the desk. It's mine. I'm gonna pick it up later. Like 45 minutes later, yo, can you put it in the fridge for me? Cause I can't come right now.
I was about to say that sounds like a delicious plate of diabetes. I was just like,
Oh God. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna drink like 5 bottles of water just to clean out my system, and then just
you need a flush. I'm so sad because I have two bottles of wine at Vicky's house that I literally put in a bag, tied it up, and handed it to somebody's son, and they didn't.
and then you and that person's son, left. And it was still sitting on the table.
I literally handed it to this person. I'm not saying names because the last time I said names, they were just like, "Oh, my parents saw." I'm like, "All right, fine."
Okay, so you know what? We're gonna trademark "and somebody's son," and that's gonna be on a T-shirt. It's gonna be on a tag. We're gonna make all this.
Somebody's son or redacted.
Ma'am, madam, miss, ma'am, and sir. They, them, sir, monsieur, sir.
Oh my God.
Oh, see, I love ending the night like this. You know what? This is where we're going to close it. We're all laughing.
Yes, correct.
All right, so who wants to take us home?
I'm ready.
I just want to say, you guys, that I love you. And I also want to say I'm really tired. And I also want to say follow us on all social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, we got it. We don't got TikTok though, so don't name that. And as always, we are Shady Box Podcast. I am Tiara.
I'm Eileen.
Candace.
And I'm Victoria.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.